Okay. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us here. We'll be getting started in just a couple more minutes. We just need a few more minutes to set up. Thank you. And welcome to the press conference for the Googlers for Job Security campaign. My name is Parul Kaul. I'm a software engineer in search and a Googler of 7 years. And I'm a proud member and elected president of the Alphabet Workers Union. We're here today along with, over 80, I think almost maybe 100 people here. People are joining as they're coming in from lunch. We're here today in person in Mountain View, the headquarters of Google, and we came here today to deliver the petition that we have been working on, the campaign that we've been working on for the last year and a half, called Googlers for Job Security. Our petition and our campaign have been going since 2025, and our campaign really asks for 4 simple things. We want voluntary exits before layoffs, we want guaranteed severance standards, we want an end to performance quotas, and offering constituents as leave. Over 4,500 Google workers across the United States have signed this letter, adding their names to fight for these reasonable changes that will improve job security for all of us. This petition and campaign is the culmination of hundreds of dedicated organizers, including all the people you see behind me, having thousands of conversations with their coworkers, talking through the necessity of having real agency and respect in our workplace. And just to give you all a sense of how many people are part of this campaign, here's a banner that we're unfurling right now with the names of all of the Googlers who have signed this petition as of a few days ago. Please clap it up for that. I also want to mention that I'm here today from the Google office in Cambridge, Massachusetts, actually. And I'm here with coworkers who have come from offices all over the country. And we came to Mountain View to deliver this petition to the CEO, Sundar Pichai, as well as multiple senior VPs. And our request to them has been very simple this whole time. Meet with us and implement these common sense changes that will improve working conditions for all Googlers. And this isn't the first time that we've tried to reach them. We delivered this petition in person last year, right here. We've sent emails, we've organized actions mobilizing hundreds of Googlers around the country to raise visibility and attention to these concerns. And despite this, Google management has chosen to ignore us. This is why we gathered here in person today, after having collected twice the number of signatures we had last year, and we attempted to deliver the petition again in person. We were greeted with closed doors and no response for the most part. But there was a representative from Sundar's staff who met us at the door, and we were able to share our concerns and share our message with him. And he committed to taking it back to the CEO, but also said he couldn't guarantee a response. That's very unfortunate. We're not going to stop fighting for these demands. And we know that our voices do matter. We know that because in 2025, soon after we went public with this campaign, Google began offering voluntary exit packages in the US. Something that no other major company in the industry was doing at that time. This was certainly an improvement from mass layoffs, but more than anything, it was a clear sign that Google workers coming together and taking action actually changes things. Campaign, we can win all of our demands and more. And this campaign didn't come out of nowhere. It actually started. Google management decided to lay off 12,000 of our coworkers overnight in January 2023. Shame, that's right. Google then continued with mass layoffs in 2024, and then rolling cuts through the last few years. Almost every one of us here has probably been through the experience of a teammate, of a friend, maybe even ourselves, going through one of these cuts. Every time, Google management has said it was a difficult decision. It was a response to economic headwinds. These were necessary changes to set the company up for success. But the reality is, in that same time period, Google's valuation has gone from over $1 trillion to over $4 trillion. Google is sitting on $126 billion in cash reserves. Make no mistake, this is a company that is enjoying massive, unprecedented success. These layoffs and cuts are not difficult decisions, but simply profit being put over the people that make this company run. So we're here to say that success shouldn't be coming at our expense. Our jobs and our futures should not be becoming more insecure while the benefits accrue to a small clique of billionaires at the very top. We're demanding that Google workers have the conditions and the security to do their best work, where they can actually bring new ideas and innovations to life instead of working in an environment driven by fear, where you might be pit against your colleagues, or where every day you're not sure how much longer you have this job. The CEOs and executives of this company, like the rich and powerful everywhere else, want us to feel and believe that organizing won't change anything. The cost of doing business. That we should just get used to hundreds of thousands of people in the tech industry losing their jobs every year. And that we should just accept this new normal, where we're living in constant fear of losing our livelihoods, or accepting that AI might dramatically change our jobs or cut our jobs and erode our sense of job security forever. But the same types of people decades ago told workers that we couldn't have a 40-hour work week, that long hours and burnout were the cost of doing business. They told us that a weekend wasn't possible, that health and safety standards weren't possible. Workers before us have proved that all of those things are possible and more, and the only barrier to us achieving them is how organized we are. That's the lesson that we're taking from this as tech workers fighting for better conditions at Google. And that's why we aren't just running a campaign, we're also building a union. And we encourage every Google worker hearing this message to join your union today. This is how we build power to have a real say, to make sure that Google doesn't keep putting profits over people, profits over ethical commitments, profits over its environmental commitments, and so much more. Organizing and taking action together is the way forward, collectively, as we're doing today. And with that, I want to pass the floor to my coworkers and fellow union members who are here from all over the country to share more about why they're part of this campaign. I want to hand things over to Nobel from the Mountain View office.
Thank you so much. I could not be more proud of our union president. Hello everyone, I'm Nobel Bearcat and I'm a software engineer based here in Mountain View, working on the Rust toolchain for Android. So when I think of the effects of job security at this company, the first thing that comes to mind is fear. I see worried people, grateful to still have a job, do the best they can to keep it. I've seen people work longer and longer days with the hopes that they avoid a sudden poor performance rating. I myself personally worry about taking time off because I fear that it'll be my last at the company. And I, like them, am always wondering if I'm going to be the one left behind. But even with the fear of speaking up, we are still here today making our voices heard. 4,500 of us have signed this petition to demand a future with certainty and a workplace that no longer runs on fear, but protects the livelihoods of every hard-working people at this company. But we're not just running a campaign, like Harold said, we are building a union. We don't just want workers here to voice their opinion on this campaign alone. We want workers to have a voice at every company workplace issue. Whether it is voices that want to see responsible and sustainable development of AI, voices that want an end to the partnerships with CBP and ICE, voices from our contracted workers that demand equal treatment, and voices that want to end the use of AI in weaponry and surveillance, we need your voice. Join our union. That's right. It is all of you here today, everyone who has participated in this campaign that has brought this union from a quiet murmur to a roaring storm. And it is this storm that will break the culture of fear and bring about a workplace of dignity and respect. Because when we fight, we win! Because when we fight, we win! Because when we fight, we win! Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nobel. And please give Nobel a big round of applause. And next, we'll be hearing from Megan Day from the Pittsburgh office.
Hi, I'm Megan Day. I'm a software engineer, like Pearl said, based in the Pittsburgh office, and I work on machine learning infrastructure for ads. When I joined Google 8 years ago, I came to orientation here on this campus, and I remember very clearly about it. The stories that they told us, new employees, about the extraordinary lengths that the company would go to support and take care of its employees. And this really shaped my understanding and all of our understanding of what it meant to work here at this company. The January 2023 layoffs changed all of this. Thousands of workers lost their jobs overnight, with some only learning that they had lost their jobs when they arrived at the office in the morning and their badges wouldn't work to let them in. For months after this, my coworker told me that he would check his email every morning when he got up before he left to come into the office to know that he hadn't lost his job before he arrived at work. Shame. Last summer, 2 of my teammates left Google under very different circumstances. One of them had been hired as a fully remote employee based 49-point-something miles away from the closest Google office. But a company policy change required that all employees within 50 miles of an office start to commute to work. This would have been a 2-hour commute for my coworker each way, and this just was not a viable option for him, so he had to leave the company with severance. The other coworker accepted a voluntary exit package that was offered last summer to be able to move closer to family. Both of these coworkers were talented, valued individuals, and were really sad and coworkers to lose, but the difference here was stark in terms of their departures. One of them had agency to leave on his own terms, and the other was not. That's why I signed this petition. Workers deserve to exit this company with dignity and grace, and they deserve to not experience like a daily dread about the future of employment here. Workers also deserve guaranteed severance, the option to take severance as leave, and performance reviews that reflect the work that we really do. Coming from Pittsburgh, which has a much smaller tech presence, my coworkers and I have fewer comparable local jobs available to us if we lose our job, which means if you lose your job, it could mean uprooting your entire life. We've already shown what collective action can accomplish. Today, more than 4,500 of us are asking leadership to build on that progress, engage with us in good faith, and recognize that a stronger worker voice can make Google a great place to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. And next we'll be hearing from Kaylee Lubick from the Durham office.
Hello. Yes, my name is Kaylee Lubick. I'm from the Durham, North Carolina office, where I've worked for about 11 years, all on the Chrome team. In the summer of 2024, Google Durham hosted, like they often do, Take Your Child to Work Day. And they had all sorts of nice things set up for the children who were coming to visit. There were balloons and special snacks, some Legos to put together in one of the meeting rooms. And there were also security guards waiting at the main doors to deny entry to two particular workers who'd been laid off the night before. And so, when they arrived, one with his 4-year-old kid in tow, they learned they were jobless, unable to enter the building, even to collect their belongings.
Shame.
Many Durham workers were horrified to hear the news that percolated throughout the rumor mill. And that fall, when union members started having union forums where people could voice their concerns, job security was top of mind. Some people are the only employed parent for one or more kids. And when they heard that we were pushing for communicated voluntary layoffs instead of surprise involuntary layoffs, many of them, over 100 workers, pushed past their fear to sign the petition. I want workers to not have to worry about being met at the door by security. I want the employer to listen to our concerns and to work with us to find a mutually beneficial arrangement. We do our best work when we feel emotionally safe and financially secure. And doesn't Google want us to build the best systems we possibly can? Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylee. And next we'll be hearing from Dan Friedman from the San Francisco office.
Hello, I'm Daniel Friedman, a staff software engineer based in San Francisco for the last 14 years, and I work on AI tools for designers. At Google, we've taken pride in how we build software for billions of people, that we work on the infrastructure and applications that make the world's knowledge accessible to all. That is why we have a duty to hone our craft and build it the right way with the highest quality. I've felt that pride myself until the layoffs started. Now I feel fear and anxiety with that pride. When I hear about hundreds of designers laid off overnight, or core developer infrastructure teams with years of experience reallocated entirely, I have to wonder if I'm next, even with my stellar performance reviews and assurances from my leaders. I have to weigh if my work is going to be done well or done fast. With AI being added to my job requirement, I also have to worry if I'm using it enough, or that I will have the time it takes to review what it's doing, or that it might get good enough at my job to replace me. And underneath all of that, a quiet guilt that I could do better if I didn't have this fear. When I talk to my fellow workers, I hear the same things I'm thinking and know I'm not alone. With over 4,500 signatures on this petition, I know we all want the same thing, the peace of mind to do our best. And to do that, we need to have an official voluntary exit policy. we need to have performance reviews without quotas. We need to have all of the demands of this petition addressed. And above all, we need to have a union at Google to ensure that we have the psychological safety to do our jobs the right way so that all of you can have the best of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And next, we'll be hearing from Hannah from the New York City office.
Hi, I'm Hannah Poe. I use they, them pronouns. I've been a software engineer at Google for 8 years, and I work on core web frameworks. I'm here representing my coworkers in Google's New York City offices. Since the first mass layoffs in 2023, my coworkers and I have lived under an ever-present dark cloud. We have seen coworkers on visas cut off from sponsorship with 60 days to find a new job before they're forced to leave the country. We have seen coworkers with kids on the way cut off from healthcare benefits at the moment they need them most. While we can try to put it out of our minds, it doesn't erase this new reality that Google can and does take away the jobs we have built our lives on with zero notice. In the AI era, this looming cloud has taken on a new color. On the one hand, we're being asked to build AI. On the other, we're subject to opaque and uneven requirements about how we use it. We're left guessing and grasping at how to earn security. Should we use this tool or these tokens, work longer hours, take fewer risks, be less helpful to teammates who we might be ranked against in performance reviews, keep our heads down when the company makes choices that conflict with our values? Along with thousands of my fellow Alphabet workers, I chose to sign the job security petition because I care about my coworkers and believe we deserve better. I know that the secret of Google's success has always been the creativity, dedication, and care that each of us as workers brings to the table. Rather than worrying and wondering alone, we are here today standing together with clear demands, asking leadership to support us and continuing to bring that. Each of us deserves that level of dignity and psychological safety, and the world deserves a Google that is built by workers whose work is shaped not by fear, but by collective care. Not only can this company afford to meet our demands, if it wants to preserve what makes it special, it can't afford not to. That's right. Thank you.
Please give Hannah and all the speakers a huge round of applause. And you know, I hope that the stories and the testimonials that everyone from all of the different offices here have shared resonate with folks. And I also hope that, you know, the flip side of that is that I hope that we can tap into our power. You know, we have all of this, fear that we have been working through due to the environment of layoffs and job insecurity. But we also know that it's our work that powers what this company does. Without the work that we do, Google wouldn't be what it is. And so we have the power to change things for ourselves. The only thing preventing us is how organized we are. And that's why our message to everyone watching is get organized, get involved in this campaign, and join your union so that we can actually build a Google that works for all of us. Can I have you all indulge me in a new chant? Okay, it goes like this. Google, Google, you can't hide.
Google, Google, you can't hide.
We can see your greedy side.
We can see your greedy side.
Google, Google, can't you see?
Google, Google, can't you see?
We deserve security.
We deserve security.
Google, Google, you can't hide.
Google, Google, you can't hide.
We can see your greedy side.
We can see your greedy side.
Google, Google, can't you see?
Google, Google, can't you see?
We deserve security.
We deserve security.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone for coming out here today. Thank you to all of the speakers for building this powerful movement. What we're doing is historic and unprecedented in our industry, but we hope we are only the first ones and set an inspiring example for tech workers everywhere who are fighting for job security, who are fighting for a real say, and we're gonna keep fighting because we know when we fight,
we win.
When we fight,
we win.
Thank you. And with that, we'll open up to questions from members of the press. Please raise your hand where I can see you, and please state your name and affiliation and who the question is addressed to.
You want mission here today?
Yeah, absolutely. Our mission here today, we were here today to deliver the Googlers for Job Security petition, which over 4,500 of our coworkers have signed. We were here to deliver that petition to Google management in hopes that they will listen to our demands around voluntary exits before mass layoffs, for guaranteed severance, for an end to performance quotas, and for the option to offer severance as leave. So we're here to make sure that our message is heard.
Sorry, do you expect like any response from the company, very soon or something?
Yeah, that's a great question. We were hoping to get a response from Google management here today. We were received by a member of Sundar Pichai, the CEO's staff, who heard us and said that he would deliver this message to Google management. We hope that they formally recognize the campaign and the impact that it's had. We know that informally, even if they haven't directly acknowledged our campaign in meetings, the CEO has said that the VEPs, the voluntary exits that were implemented last year, were a result of employee feedback. And we know that this petition is the largest piece of employee feedback that Google has received about job security. I'm also going to ask the rest of the speakers to be here so that they can take questions as well.
Does anyone have an anecdote where they felt hurt by Google or, targeted in any way? You said hurt by Google? Targeted, a workplace issue, and that's why you're here?
I don't know that I can say that I felt targeted for particularly the actions we're doing here, but the impetus for being here is more like something of like an indiscriminate and kind of just cruel cuts to how we've operated. Personally, in 2023, my manager and skip manager were both laid off on the same day, and like that broke our team apart over a while, and I've had to like find new things to work on, and really brought home this sort of long feeling of like the cliche of like, oh yeah, we're a family, we do the right thing, we work on all these things, we are the best of the industry. Just really be shown to not be true anymore. That we are, all of us workers are the numbers on a spreadsheet, and that will be reassigned as needed. That really kind of breaks the spell of the working here.
I think something I just wanted to add and put a really fine point on is I think for many of us, these layoffs and like the reason we're here today to fight for more security is that the company is not treating us as specific individuals. The problem is we're being treated in this inhumane way where we're not being recognized and appreciated for the many hours and the hard work that we put into our jobs. We're being treated, as Dan said, as numbers on a spreadsheet. And so it's not that we're being targeted for the most part. I don't want to speak for everyone, but in my experience, it's not that people are being targeted. It's that we're not being treated as individuals who are deserving of dignity and respect.
And then if I could add some historical and statistical data, right? Google has never performed layoffs before 2023, and it did see a decrease in profits during 2008. And I would also like to say that, as far as I can tell, Google's workforce hasn't shrunk; it's just stagnated. So the idea that this is some sort of, maybe I'm not discriminating against it directly, but the idea that Google needs to do these layoffs or even is shrinking its workforce isn't even true. To me, I don't know if I can come to the conclusion that this is even a cost-saving measure. It could be kind of like what I said, more to instill the culture of fear, to be able to be hard, to make it harder to speak out. So, that's kind of the context I'd add with that too.
I got one more question. At this moment, in 2026, do you feel even more insecure because of AI?
question was, in 2026, with AI on the rise, do we feel more insecure? I talked about this a bit before, but I want to continue to say, like, those first layoffs in 2023, like, we look for patterns, right? I was on a close team. We got lunch together every day. I come in the morning. 2 people we learned have been laid off. We don't even know which ones. Like, we're messaging, like, who was it, you know? And then we're like, why? Like, why was it these 2 people, right? And the thing that's common, the thread through to AI, is that we don't know. Like, they don't tell us, like, what do we need to do to, like, be completely safe? And they used to offer this, right? Layoffs before 2023 didn't happen, and now it's different. So I think AI is just one aspect of this, and we're just living under this fear.
I also want to add that, you know, even if changes on that front have not been as dramatic or as uniform across Google, we see that other parts of the tech industry, tech CEOs, are talking very openly about how they would like to use AI to reduce their workforces. Whether that's true or even possible, we think that it's a lose-lose situation for workers unless we actually come together and try to do something about it and have a way for us to have a say. And that's really what we're fighting for here. Is the future is uncertain, and we want an organization and we want to have power so that we can actually advocate for ourselves no matter what happens. Well, if there's no more further questions, then that concludes our press conference for the day. Thank you again to everybody who joined us here in person. Thank you to everyone who joined us on the live stream as well. We know there's hundreds of AWU members and Googlers for Job Security campaign supporters on the live stream. You know, we appreciate you all for being here. We hope you join the fight, stay in the fight, and join our union, because we have you know, lots to fight for, and we know that the more of us there are, the closer we will be to success. So thank you.